name is Courtney Carr. I am a musician and I am 21 years of age. I have experience from a very young child to... No, that was really bad. I didn't know what I was going to say. A really young child.
Perfect. No, that's perfect, actually. Including the bloop, if you don't mind.
Oh my god.
That is the intro to the video.
I was like,
that was
what?
perfect.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
A really young child. No.
No, but
G'day Courtney, how's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So, to start things off, I just want to ask you a really hard-hitting question. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared.
Okay. Greatest song ever, go.
Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses.
Okay, cool. What is it about that song that you like?
It gives me energy. It's
Yep.
got a lot of power. It makes me excited, and the vocal is very intense, but it makes me really happy, and I love to sing along.
Awesome, good
Gives me good vibes.
Cool. So you are in a band with your
Correct.
father, and what's the name of that band?
We're called Cisco.
Cisco.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been doing your thing
For about 2 or so years. So
Right.
we're quite new to the
to the scene?
gigging part, but
Right.
yeah, we're keeping it going.
Cool. So you guys go along and play gigs and stuff quite regularly, or?
It would be about 1 gig a month. So right now we're not gigging too regularly, but we would like to get booked eventually for most weekends. But
Cool,
we're just taking
cool.
it slow at the moment to get ourselves out there.
Awesome. What's the biggest venue you've been in so far?
Midnight Madness, which took place in Howick. So that was a massive gig full of people who walk through the street all night. The shops stay open all night, so we were on the street playing music for about 3 hours.
Was it like a busking type thing, or?
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah, so there was all shops open down the street, and we were one of the bands there, so people would stop and watch and
Cool,
carry on
cool.
shopping.
are
Yeah.
you a
Awesome.
plug-in band?
Yeah.
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 And what sort of music?
We play 60s, 70s rock and roll, so quite old. But yeah, it's quite exciting because we like our old stuff. Yeah.
You like your old stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's with your dad.
Yeah.
And would you say that his taste in music has influenced you throughout your life?
Certainly. So before I started with the band, I hadn't heard majority of the songs.
Yeah.
But actually, after playing them quite regularly, I've ended up loving them, and they're one of my biggest influences now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've got a clip of you playing all these different instruments that will be shown on the interview. Is there any instrument that you can't play that you want to learn?
I would say violin. I would love to learn that because I'm quite interested in doing something
Classical.
classical.
Right.
Yes. And probably like to learn the cello.
Cello.
Yeah, I think it's quite
Awesome.
cool as well.
Awesome.
Are you writing stuff?
I am, yes, currently. So I love to write songs, so lyrical, and come up with my own grooves on the drums.
Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah, I enjoy that.
So what was the hardest instrument for you to learn?
The flute.
The flute.
Yeah, that would have been my hardest because it took a lot of getting used to, because you have to play through the core and you have to use a lot of air to get a correct sound, and yeah, it's quite hard to read music, but over time I learned how to do that.
And how
with
long did it
private
take?
Tuition. It took me about 5 months or so to get a perfect sound.
That's not very long.
No, I was quite lucky because I started off on the recorder, so I kind of had an idea on how it would work, and then over time I practiced every single day, every weekend, and I got there.
Cool.
So.
Cool. And is the flute your favourite instrument to play, or?
No, I wouldn't
No.
say so, but
So what is?
I am thankful that I got to learn it,
Right.
because it taught me a lot, but drums would be my favourite.
Cool, cool. And you're the drummer in your band?
Correct, yes.
Alright.
Courtney, what's the experience like in working in, I guess, a family band with your father? And
It's quite draining because from a father-daughter aspect, obviously we have a lot to work on together, and we don't always get on, but we can always handle that because we are family, and that kind of makes it better than being with someone who isn't family, because that way we can work our situation out better
do you
together
share,
and be on the
the
same
duties
page.
as band leader?
I kind of follow my dad a bit more, but yeah, I just play what's necessary and do my own practice, so
Cool.
it's down to me.
Because your dad's the lead singer, right?
He is, and bass player.
And so there's another member of your band, right?
Yes,
So you guys are a three-piece?
we are,
And
but my dad actually used to teach him quite a while ago, so he isn't family, but he is very talented and we get on well, and
Right.
made us kind of family in the end anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And is he the lead guitarist
he
still?
is, yes.
Cool, cool. So, do you want to list all of the instruments you can play?
Sure.
Okay.
Flute,
Yep.
drums,
Yep.
piano, bass, guitar, and some vocals.
Cool, cool.
Do you read music?
I do, yeah. So when I was about 5 years old, I got my first lesson on the flute, so I started to learn how to read from then on and right till now.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how difficult is it to actually read music? Like, does it?
Extremely difficult. So it took a very, very long time for me to actually memorize everything to do with the scale. So over time, I can look at a scale now and I can read everything. But back then, I would struggle and have to ask a lot of questions and
Right.
get help from teachers and such. But over time, it kind of just gets to you like anything else.
Would you say it's kind of like learning a second language?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome.
But you're a music teacher as well.
I am. So theory is extremely important because a lot of children that I know of and people play by ear, whereas they don't really go from the theory side of things, so they
Right.
don't read the music. However, if they did start off doing that, they would advance a lot more because they have that musical knowledge on top of the practical.
So
Of course,
to have the bass theory.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And so you teach teenagers,
Yes.
or you did? You finished that
I
job
did.
yesterday?
I actually have finished my career in music teaching so far. I'm going to continue private teaching though, which I do. I do that once a week with about 7 to 9-year-olds.
Cool.
Whereas in the high school situation, I think we were a bit close in age, so we didn't really manage to negotiate too well. And yeah, so I kind of realised it wasn't for me, but I will keep it up.
So, would you say teaching children or teenagers is more difficult?
Teenagers are more
Teenagers?
difficult.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Did you ever feel like pulling your hair out?
pretty much every day.
Hope none of your past students see this.
Yeah.
Maybe they should.
And so, in that clip you you sent us, there's a scene of you orchestrating
A jazz band.
Yeah,
So that was
that from the school?
That was from Alfriston College. So that was a refusion jazz band which I created with about 17 or so students.
Cool.
I had to teach brass and woodwind for that section, and then we had a rhythm section which I worked on, but also had the help from others. Yeah.
Right. And can you take us through the process of orchestrating? Like, how does it work? exactly?
First of all, you have to follow a full score with all instruments involved. You have to learn the entire score because some instruments do not play at the same time, so you
Right.
have to know when that person comes in so you can cue them, as the student is always following you, so they kind of rely on you to know where they should be playing if they don't know themselves.
True.
And so do they, the people in your fusion band, did they read music as well?
No,
for the
most of them
instruments?
didn't. So I had to, well, we took a very, very long time going through all the music with them and teaching them how to read. Some of them did not pick up on it too well, but they managed to get some notes and have some understanding, but not completely.
And follow the conductor?
Correct.
Yeah, no, good.
Do you see any similarities between music and poetry?
I do.
Yeah.
Lyrically, definitely. I could read a song lyric and it sounds very much similar to a poem because you can really express yourself through a song as you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you write poetry as well, or just
No,
just
I
music?
don't. But
Is it something you've ever considered? getting
certainly, when
into?
I was younger, I loved it. But I don't really focus too much on the writing aspect. I
Right.
like to write songs, but I'm more on the music scene where I like to play more and create music that way.
Instrumentalist, arranger.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, no, cool. What about the... You said you sort of played rock and roll, and what do you listen to in your own time?
I listen to everything. So if I love my old school, but I would more so go towards 80s and 90s rock for me, not too much earlier than that. But I love modern, I love reggae, I love pop, I love rap, I love anything. Yeah, so I'm influenced by a lot of different sounds.
Right. Even mumble rap.
No, not mumble rap.
But if you had to pick one genre out of all those genres you just listed for the, if you had to listen to one of them for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
It would be rock,
Rock.
certainly.
Cool.
How did you come to have such a musical career?
My family is musical, so I was kind of born into it, which I'm very lucky to have. And also being at such a young age, my grandmother actually got me involved in the flute, as I said before, and that kind of took it off for me, and then I
Cool.
wanted to learn everything else along the way. Yeah.
And does your grandma play the flute as well?
No, she's a pianist and a singer, so.
But you're going to stay with the music too, though.
I
While you
am.
might be
I don't want to let it. I don't want to let go of it. But I think in the aspect of teaching, I don't see myself in that position any more longer than what I've done, which is 3 years
At least for now.
for now.
Yeah.
But I always have that option to go back if I change my mind.
Right. And so you're looking into doing, what was it, floristry?
Yes, which is very different for me, but from a younger age, I've always been interested, and I love being creative, so that's another side of me. I kind of picked up music because I kind of felt like I needed to, with my family being so musical. However, over time, I've realised that that's not really me, and I want to try something new. But yeah, with all the knowledge I've gained over the years, I can always go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and pass it on to the
That's
next
right.
gen.
So is a bunch of flowers like an orchestra?
Yeah, it actually is.
Roses can be trumpets, and
Yeah.
and perhaps you can arrange
When you
your
look at it like
floristry
that,
like
yeah.
that. Writing musical scores with flowers.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
So what is music to you? I know it's a broad question.
It is a
but-
broad question, but I believe it speaks to the soul. When you're going through hard times and happy times,
Yeah.
music can always guide you through, no matter what. I think it gives you excitement and joy, sometimes sadness, depending on the lyric. It can make you feel quite excited to, you know, go out and do things, and it gives you that power to complete an activity if you listen to something before you do it or while you're doing it. Yeah, so
Soundtrack of your life.
that's right.
Music, yeah. Well, music is universal. I don't
That's
think
right.
I've ever heard a single person in my life say that they don't like any type of music. It's just, it's kind of just there.
That's right.
It's its own entity.
I don't know how anyone could get through without it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And so with all your experience in engaging with the young people, particularly in music, my perception is that they all want to be stars.
That's right.
Is that right?
Most of them,
But they don't want to do the work.
no. A lot of them think that they can get it just so easy without doing any hard work because they are so good, but they haven't really learnt the adult aspect of life yet, that they have to work after they finish high school, especially, to get where they want to be.
Yeah.
Because they're very privileged, and even myself, privileged in what they're given, such as like instruments and workspaces to do these things. However, they take it for granted, and the attitude also affects it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always got to have the right attitude. Yeah.
Of course, just like with anything else.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, all musicians have a dream, whether it's a goal or just fantasy. What is your musical dream?
To be fair, my musical dream from about 5 years old was to be a music teacher. I achieved that at a very young age, so I'm only 21 now, and that happened when I turned about 19.
Right.
So straight out of high school, I landed the job, so I kind of took it straight away, and I didn't really think about taking some time off after my high school to see where I wanted to go, so I went straight into it because I had the opportunity. But I kind of realised now that that was probably not the best idea. I think I needed to wait it out a bit longer and then become a music teacher when I gained more knowledge within, being an adult out of high school.
Yeah.
But if I had any other dream with music, it would be to play at a massive gig on stage in front of thousands of people. But
Madison Square Garden.
yeah.
And what, drums?
Drums, totally. I would love to just be on screen and everyone would know who I am, and that's one of my major goals. Yeah.
Have your band ever considered making, or have you made a music video, like a actual produced music
No,
video?
we have been thinking about it a lot, but it's quite hard because we're always in and out of guitarists. So the boy you will see on my video, he is currently not playing with us, and then we've had 2 more people after that, but for some reason they always seem to not take it so seriously. Yeah, they don't see it as a priority.
Bit of a hobby.
So yeah, more as a hobby, so they're not looking at the big picture. But we've got a lot of offers out there to see who we can choose, but it's just finding that right person who wants to stick in it for the long run, not just have it for a couple of gigs and then give up.
Do you know who David Grohl is?
I do.
Do you know that Damon reckons that he's done the worst videos around?
Not worst, weird. Some of the weirdest music videos.
Yeah.
in the
What, do
world.
you agree?
A little bit,
Oh,
but it's not too bad. I mean, I think, yeah.
They're weird, but they're great.
They're so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I
I
weird.
mean, I'm
but
definitely
cool.
inspired and influenced, regardless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
But
Dave
someone's
Grohl,
got to take the piss out of Dave.
That's right.
yeah, might as well be himself.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Dave Grohl, actually, because he started off as a drummer in Nirvana.
He did.
Which is kind of similar to what
That's
you're
right.
doing with
Yeah.
Cisco. So do you... Actually, that comes to another question of mine. Have you ever considered breaking out and doing something different with your musical career?
I wanted to. I would love to be quite fluent with another instrument. I did think of using my flute because I've been playing that for many years, about 8 or so years. I've always dreamed of being in the symphony orchestra. So that would be playing in front of a huge crowd again, but in
Cool.
the classical side.
Cool.
I think that would teach me a lot. I mean, I love rock, but classical will always get you any gig and can
Right.
get you really far because it's got so much different aspects in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I'm sure you'll find that a lot of rockers and musicians, a lot of them did start out with classical. Yeah.
yeah. It kind of just starts your journey off, I think, and it's a right way to start it. Yeah.
What about the process of music now in terms of the recording, the distribution of it and stuff, and with the online capabilities that we now have? 20 years ago you had to get a recording contract, pay huge dollars to go into a recording
That's
studio.
right.
You had
It's
to make sure you had a label.
Yeah, well, so
all
far
that.
you can apply online, you can go into studios, you can get recordings. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they'll tell you. But it's down to money as well, though. It is quite expensive out there. I know for us to get a video, it was going to be about over $500, and that would be 1 hour of shooting. So people are asking for quite a lot, which I understand, but you've just got to know the right people, I think. Yeah, but I don't, to get a song out there and published and recorded, I don't really know that too much about that process, but yeah, I think that it's possible if you know the right people.
Are you interested in the actual direction
Producing.
of music videos, like in conceiving ideas and directing them?
I
for
haven't
music
really
videos?
looked at that aspect of music, but I mean, I am definitely open to it and interested. It's just something that I don't really focus on too much. I'm more focused on the playing and the way I would sound, or the way the band would sound, and being a perfectionist. So, yeah.
Okay.
But it would be quite interesting.
Yeah, actually. So you're teaching children at the moment in your spare time. How would a parent go about contacting you to get their child enrolled with what you're doing?
I have business cards, so I have an email where they can contact me through there. I advertise myself through the school, through neighbours around home actually, so a lot of parents that I've known for a long time, and also my students' parents know about me, so they can refer their children to me to teach privately, or to give some assistance to in however
Cool.
they want to do it. Yeah,
Are our readers allowed to know your email to?
of
for that?
course.
Cool.
We'll put it up with the...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug?
No, I think that's...
Any
we're good.
upcoming gigs?
Not currently,
Okay.
but I am, if anything, we would like to put it out there. Well, I will put it out there for the band, that if you know of any guitarist that is interested in playing regular gigs, rock and roll, please email me below.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm far from much empty sea. I take time and go